Hey, Albert has a question. All right. Kyria says it's all good. Okay, thank you, Kyria. All right, Albert says, hello, Jack and Jill. Here is my question. I have an 85-year-old lady who is selling me 10 acres for $1,100. She is a trustee of a living trust. Great. I want to send her special warranty deed. Anything else I need to notarize? Who is selling me? So you want to get a copy of that living trust, even if just for your records, Albert, because you want to have a paper trail showing that you know that you have the right person who has the property to convey the property to you.
That's right.
On there, and make sure there's no other person that's listed that we need to track down. Make sure it says, just Betty Smith, whatever. And then
somewhere on that, what you're looking for in that trust is one page, and the page is the person that you're speaking. It gives authority to the person that you're speaking with, so that she can actually sign the deed over.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then what she needs to sell to you is, if you're using Deed Perfect, then you have all the documents. So if you wanted to Deed Perfect and it gave you only a deed and not any other documentation like affidavit of property value or something like that, then in that state, that's all you need. So, and if you have any questions, always call the county recorder anyway and confirm it. And I even recommend that when you're just getting started, before you get to know that county, we would still do that. If it's our first transaction in that county, oh, thank you, my bangs are off. See what I mean by disheveled? I'm all like, Jack's fixing my hair. I'm all like, oh. So
makes us real, you're
thank you. So first time in that county, give the county recorder a call and just say, hi, I'm buying a property from this lady in a trust. I've got it all figured out. I've got my deed ready to go. Do I need to send you anything else? And they'll tell you, and they'll say, make sure your check's made out for $12.50 to da da da, and you can say, okay, I got it, and then there you go.
Right.
So, perfect. Sorry, step going down here. Jack and Jill, is there a way to reduce the price? Michael asked, is there a way to reduce the pricing or change a subscription request to get property reports?
Yes. Erin will help you with that. ERIN at.
We can get property reports within Title Pro too.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm more specific about what you're really looking for.
Sometimes you need to be, the stuff that you can pull down on RealQuest Pro needs to be adjusted based on your username. And Erin knows all about that.
I'm thinking, are you asking, Michael, are you asking about property reports, like to do your due diligence, you're doing back and doing your title work? So I'm looking for your answers.
Yeah, make sure
here.
Jill's exactly right. Make sure
I know what you're asking. Yes, Claire brought this up. Because right now, double check. I can't remember which one's cheaper, but you can do it in.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is easier, faster, and cheaper. That's not data driven in Title Pro. So you need to spend a couple of hours in each, just really not each, but maybe an hour in each one, and really find out exactly what they can do for you.
Got it. Yes.
And then check, as always, check the frequently asked questions, and then I think there's the what is it called? The message board on Success Plant. There's a lot of instructions and stuff there too.
Exactly. This is a good point. I want to bring something up. Even though some of these things seem expensive, what we're getting right now.
It's that price.
How do I say this? I'm trying to say we're all a little
used to getting stuff for free.
Well, okay, let me back up. Jack and I met with CoreLogic in person in the Irvine offices on Tuesday, and there's more about that coming, and it was a fantastic meeting. There's all kinds of good things that we can do. We're coming up with engineering help and mapping and maybe different ways, price-wise, to do this. However, they about fell over when they found out that our records, they were even looking at our contract going, I don't know how you guys got this price.
That's right.
They're looking at our 8 cents because the guy that got us the 8 cents a deal is not there anymore.
We met with CoreLogic. The guy that got us the 8 cent deal was a RealQuest. He was in the division of CoreLogic. We met with the top people.
Right.
And they couldn't believe that we negotiated that deal.
So they were telling us that normal Now, I don't know what the middle point is, what these other people are getting that for, but nowhere near 8 cents. And they were telling us that the other people, there are some other people's like, mostly it's mortgage people that use this kind of data, but they're charging 30 to 80 cents
A
per
record.
record for what we're using for
Yeah.
8. And I'm like, what
Yep.
are you talking about? So I want to make sure we just put that into perspective with things. I mean, and that a la carte, when you're a la carte getting extra reports and things like that through RealQuest, you could check with the county, but usually it's more expensive getting them from the county. It's usually a much better deal. And yeah, you may think like I'm spending $2.50 to get a property report, but I tell you, it's worth it for your due diligence,
Yeah.
you know? So, and our prices are phenomenal compared to what other people are spending, or just not, they just can't get it.
You can't get it.
That's the thing.
Here's the other thing on top of that. And this is a thank you to everybody on this call and everybody who's a member, because of the amount that we are collectively using the data usage in this group. We're getting some unbelievable breaks now on some of the other products that CoreLogic is offering, which I'll talk about in just a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
What Jill's really saying is, $289 might seem expensive, but I'll tell you, this wouldn't be possible if it just wouldn't be possible for most people if we just walked in through the door on our own.
Here's another thing too. What we have at our fingertips for $250 or whatever it is amazing, because the old way, and what some people are still having to do, calling the county and actually having to send them a physical request with a check. I'm not kidding. So think about this. You think $250, but you could be spending $5 and it's not a lot of money, but writing a letter, printing it out, putting in a check, sending it to the county, waiting for the county to send it back to you. Because in some, that's the way it is. So yeah, it's $250, but you have that document in your fingertips in seconds.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
it really, I hear you, Michael, and I'm telling you, this is the cheapest way, and it's so good. So, and I would just compare the two, between RealQuest and Title Pro, because I think they capture different information on those property reports. So see what, I usually use a Title Pro, I'll be honest. I like the way it prints out. It's so easy, and it's, it's just kind of cool. And then if I sell a property, and I have that printout, I'll actually forward that to the person because I think it just looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff. So thank you. All right, Kyria. Joel was adding here. Kyria, we bought 3 lots in Holiday Island, Arkansas. There's a POA, like a homeowners association fee, property owner association fee, which is no problem. But we got a letter saying that the property association has a lien on them for $1,500 each. These might be the same cheap, or some more of those cheap lots where she went back to the well from last time. I'm wondering, how should we handle this? My husband plans to contact them and ask them to forgive the debt.
Yes, that's good.
Reasoning that they will get no money if they insist on this.
That's good.
But that our buyers will be paying the POA fees going forward.
That's good.
If they clear that. I think it's a great idea. You know what, Carrie? I would even negotiate it and say, come on, guys, can we knock it down to like, $150 each?
Yeah.
And I'll pay you guys $450 and, clear it all up. And then
step A is
now you're going to get something going forward.
Step A is to put this on your acquisition due diligence list. So you want to make sure that you check that step before you purchase it. But since you're in this situation, bought properties past tense, go in and try to negotiate it. And then while you're negotiating these deals, see if they have anything else for sale. If they're going to forgive the debt down to, let's say, $150 each, like Jill said, say, hey, why don't we, let's say, because they probably took property back. If there's a lot of accumulated HOA fees and this goes with not just this deal, but everywhere, they might have, just a stockpile of property that they might just say, yeah, it's $1,500 and we can't reduce it at all. We can't negotiate it, but I've got a pile of property over here that you can have them for $100 each, and they don't have any. We already reduced the debt there.
Right.
It's not that they don't want to. It might be that the procedure, like the people at the top of the HOA, they have to get together and have a meeting, and they only meet on once a month and that kind of thing.
I'm playing with my chair. I felt like I was like way up here and you're way down there. So I don't know.
You're bigger and brighter than me.
Like, hi. We're just gonna.
I got to tell you,
Hi.
dude, video is a lot harder than audio.
Kind of.
We can
Don't
record the
mind
podcast.
the man behind the curtain.
We can record the podcast in our pajamas if we want to.
Totally. Then that's gonna change too, by the way. All right. I hope that answered that. Is there a specific county office to direct?
This is awesome.
Ben, this is so good. Boy. Yes,
there is.
yes, Ben.
Yep.
Pick the county that gives you
This is a
the
good
office
question.
that's give you the most amount of grief, and give out that phone number. Just kidding. Is there a specific county to direct tire kickers to when they ask about mineral rights? I'm getting a ton of mineral rights questions these days.
Yeah, so they're gonna. It's real difficult to find out who owns the mineral rights on property, because typically they get conveyed on the deed document itself. So unless you have, all the actual deeds in front of you from the beginning of time, you're going to see who has mineral rights and who doesn't. And it's even more complicated than that. So my advice on this, Ben, is to say, you don't get the mineral rights, and then just say there's a small possibility you do, and tell them why, what I just said. It's very complicated. No, at the county office, all they're going to do is get upset with you.
Right.
You want to avoid having anyone call the recorder. That person's pretty low on the food chain, and they're usually pretty angry individuals. But I've noticed that the people in planning and zoning they're pretty laid back and pretty fun to be around. So I try to I don't know what you do, but
okay. So here's my spin on this, Ben. Is that, are you buying the property because you want to live there and this is an investment, or are you trying to do it for mineral rights? Then this may not be for you, or you need to go a different path. Because we used to have a standing thing in our selling website on the FAQ that said mineral rights. Please assume, unless stated, specifically stated, these properties do not come with mineral rights. These are vacation properties. These are for you to go in and enjoy the property. This is not like to try to, that kind of a thing. And it usually stopped it. And so, I think that some people just think they're supposed to ask that question, or I don't know, they think it makes them seem smart if they say, I'm going to ask about mineral rights. But if it ever comes up, I just say, yeah, no, there's a very small chance. But you know what? And then my other thing is too, the reason why I'm selling this property for $999 is because I'm not going to do the homework. There's a slim chance you might have some, and you might make a fortune. But you know what? For $999, this is it. It's here for the property, and I hope you enjoy it for years to come.
Nice.
Thank you. All right. Ted's, okay, I guess I'm hoping Aaron's taking care of that permission thing. Yeah, Zoom does record the video as well, Chuck. So that, correct, is on our website.
It's in your settings. Honestly, of all the people on this call, I probably know the least about Zoom. I don't feel qualified to answer the questions. I do know they have a huge video library on how to use the product on YouTube.
Thank you. Is that say Yan or Yen? I can't tell. But
Yan.
Okay, Yan. Can you find previous recording from previous weeks on the site? Okay.
Yeah.
So depending on the county, because some counties don't always update that fast.
No, she said that person's talking about these calls. They're all on Success in the pro area of Success Plant.
Then yes.
You'll see weekly calls. The video.
When I say recording, I think deeds.
Last week was the first week we did video.
Okay.
And recorded video effectively.
Right.
And you didn't miss much anyway, because there was not really any video intensive stuff. In a few minutes here, I'm going to do some video intensive stuff, and it's going to be cool. And we're going to look forward on this, not back.
Cool. Hey, nice to see you, Claire.
Yeah.
Hey, we were just talking about you the other day.
Yeah,
okay. I've done one in-person sale. I've done a few of those too. It's kind of funny. And now another guy wants to do one. I have a notary a few blocks from the bank. Is there anything I should be wary of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all,
I never go alone. Like Jack was with me.
Ask your husband that question.
Yeah.
But since you brought it up, my rule is I never do in-person closings ever. And I don't know if Luke's on the call. He loves it. People stop by his house and they do paperwork and stuff. Seriously.
And they leave a motorcycle in the driveway.
So
they barter.
It's up to you. I don't think that in-person closings are important. I think that someone's trying to get it. They think they're getting at something other than like, why do we have to do it in person?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a, Claire, you've been doing this. She's been with us from the beginning. So, you know, you're, I know, and I know you've done done a ton of deals. So it's not a
Mhm.
credibility thing. They're not trying to
No,
see if it's a scam. I just don't,
no. I just think it's
it's
just
all
people
about
being
efficiency. This
weird.
whole business model that we have here
That's
is about
true.
efficiency. It's just inefficient to go see people.
That's very true. Yeah, just what I would do if anybody asked me that and it was in our you, Claire, I'd just say, oh, gosh, I'm on the East Coast right now through the end of the
Yeah.
month, or just make up
hmm
something. I don't know. So there you go.
Again, Jill just made the catch all perfect. That's why this property is so cheap, because you can't do things like this.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. I'm paying for it. It's all good. Hey, Luke, um, who do you talk to at a county to get answers on splitting
Oh,
up land?
oh,
You know what, Luke? I'm going to hold this
look
assets
at the lead into
recorder,
this.
clerk, land guru, or is there a title look up and ask for? Okay, this is really good. Luke, this is such a good.
This led into
You
my
just
talk today.
parlayed into what's coming up here in a few minutes. So I'm going to hold that
Yeah,
and we're going to get to that.
it's planning and zoning.
It's good. But yeah,
I'll explain it in a minute.
okay. Jordan Solomon asked a very general beginner question this time. All good. So rather than some kind of advanced analysis to come up with value and then take a percentage of that, you really just offer $100 an acre?
No. I wish it was just that.
Mm-hmm.
Jill and I regularly buy. Everybody here probably regularly buys uh, $100 an acre property in certain places. But you really need to take a look at what's listed, and hopefully you can get a good source of completed sales out there. What's listed, and we usually use LandWatch, and in just a few minutes in LandWatch, you can find out if how you should be pricing property. If there's clearly everything's $1,000, 2,000, 4,000 bucks an acre, sending $100 on it's just not a good idea.
Right.
You want to price yourself at less than half of the lowest priced listing, just like we talk about in the cash flow from land program. So, that's why we have data review. So once you have done a ton of the work and you've got actually a spreadsheet, and you're just you're ready to go, but you're apprehensive and you got it priced, schedule a call with me on the website, and I will literally look at the spreadsheet with you, and we'll talk about it and talk about how you got there and why.
Mm-hmm.
There has been many. I do those calls on Wednesday, and they're pretty packed up now. And I'll tell you, the level of intelligence, I learn stuff on these calls every day.
Mm-hmm.
The level of intelligence that nearly everybody brings when we do a data review is amazing. So
I was just going to add that $100 an acre is not across the board. It was just something to say, and so a way to that it made sense and convey what we're doing. It's not always our rule of thumb, and you don't have to be really smart to just sit down and eyeball it. Find a bunch of properties in the area that you're looking at and just kind of see, here's what they're selling at. Here's where I want to buy them at, and do the math. Okay, that's going to be about, I don't know, that looks like about $130 an acre. I'm going to go out with that. And that's
yeah,
you don't have to be that scientific about it, and just
you can be.
as long as you get them out there, because
I
you're making sure that whatever your offer price is, you can double that money when you sell it, and you're still going to be way below
Yeah,
everybody else.
yeah. You want to price it so that it's exactly right.
And then you don't have to do it the way Jack does it is one way. And for new people, I mean, a lot of people really want to get that scientific and get that detailed about it. But for everybody on Team Jill,
Oh my gosh.
just we used to have that a long time. I remember it was Team Jack and
Yeah,
Team Jill.
I do remember.
That was a long time ago. Everybody on Team Jill who can find their way around Excel and really they know how to use other programs, but like Word and things like that. Just kidding. What?
We gotta move along.
Thank you. But anyway, the point is you don't have to get that scientific about it. Don't worry about it. Don't get hung up on it. So thank you. Right. So Joel asks, I have a seller that wants twice what I offered. This may be an okay deal. Still, all right. But the county shows the land still owned by her deceased husband. And the seller is in care of the parcel information. I'm pretty sure it's a deal killer.
Yeah.
Also, the land has no access compared to most of the land around in the area.
Yeah.
That might be all you need
I
right
would move
now,
on.
Joel, to just, or even, you know what, Joel, I'll be honest, sometimes I table them. I'll put it on the side and go, you know what, I might circle back around, but first I'm going to take the next 5 that are staring at me that are just like easy to complete.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right, thank you.
To split land, Luke says, to split land, can I just send a deed in granting different quarters of my land to different people and just see what happens? No. You know, and the reason I know that is because I've tried it. And no.
Yeah, rewrite your
But
own legal description and see if anybody notices.
I have a few minutes here. I'll show you exactly how to do it, Luke.
Okay, we get catch up here. I have a chance. Jim Walmer asks, I have the chance to buy a property, but the seller acquired it via quitclaim deed. Does that make it hard for me to sell?
No.
No, as long as you do your homework and just make sure that, and you can do that, Jim, in Title Pro. I would go back and just double check the chain of title, make sure all the right people signed and it was conveyed. Because a quitclaim could have just been the father, deeded it to the son, and now you're buying it from.
So
the
there's
son.
a lot of, that's one of these, it's a rumor, in my opinion. You know, a quitclaim deed it's at the bottom of the food chain for sure about with the way to convey title, but it's okay. I mean, for this asset type, that's why you want to do a ton of deals. If something does blow up, and I think, man, I can on maybe 2 hands I can count the times deals have blown up over all the deals we've ever done. So don't worry about the quitclaim deed in general.
I would just, like I said, Jim, go check the chain of title, and you could see it was quitclaim to the son, and the dad owned it with the same last name for the 30 years leading up to it. Done deal. That's all I need. So
that's what a quitclaim deed is for. Like interrelated party transactions.
Exactly. No money.
No one ever talks about that. They just say it's, oh my gosh, don't do it.
It's like usually no money. Maybe it was given to the church. Maybe it was donated. Sometimes stuff like that, or around the family. Jordan Solomon asked, you don't seem to talk much about follow-up in the training. What happens the following the month after your first mailing? Do you send the same list, a different list, or none at all? Ask Luke.
You adjust from there. So some people, they say, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard about in my life, and I'm going to make it my career. Some people wait 2 months and send another mailer out. It depends on where you want to be and how you did on that first mailer. What I've been recommending lately on the deal review and data review calls on Wednesday is after the first one goes out, you take the data that you didn't send out and maybe that you didn't use in that exact mailer, and maybe reuse the data to send it at a different price point, or a lot of it depends on what happened in that first mailer. So from there, our job really isn't to tell you how to run your business. It's to just show you, point in the right direction, provide the tools, and then give you a bunch of good ideas and really tell you how we do it, and then go off and do your niche.
And sometimes, Joel, even though you think, okay, the following month after, watch what happens. After you do 3 mailers, you're going to have the first mailer calling in the middle of the third mailer. And then 6 months later, you're still going to get calls on the first mailer. So some of these people go, oh God, this is great. And the next thing you know, they pulled out that file because it's tax season. Now you're going to get a call, or the next time the tax bill arrives. So sit tight. Yes, Mike, I don't want to rock the boat with those guys at all.
Yeah.
No, we got some good stuff. They loved us.
They love us. I went in there ready to kiss their feet. I'm like, man, you guys rock. And they're like, no, you guys rock.
They took us to lunch. And the next thing you know, they're going, we like to do what you guys are doing on the side. We're like, oh man, this is so funny. Once they really understood what we have going on and what we can properly conveyed what some of our members are, how much money they're making.
They wanted to join the group.
They're like, how can we get
well, wait a second. Don't you guys get the data for free? You're Real Quest. And they said, oh, maybe I didn't think
Poor
about
logic. That. Yeah, it was so funny. All right.
I wish I would have recorded that.
Totally. Kathleen, up less than a time. Thank you very much. $2.89 is less than a pumpkin spice latte, and pumpkin won't buy you any land. That's perfect.
Why pumpkin spice?
Now we know what Kathleen drinks.
Yeah, and Jill does too. She drinks
I
all
do.
That silly stuff.
Oh my gosh. Every year with the special flavors, I get all excited. So that's awesome. Jordan Sullivan asks, you were talking about RealQuest prices before. Yes. I get that RealQuest monthly fee only gets us access. Yeah. Street rate is $275 a month for what you all have, just for RealQuest alone,
RealQuest Pro, yeah.
period, for nationwide access, nothing else. But we still have to pay for every name. Yes. I know that CoreLogic, yep, has list source. Yep. Though, but there's not a monthly fee. So my question is, why do we use RealQuest?
List source is not for us. Somebody answered it a couple lines down. List source is for foreclosed houses.
Right. It does not include the data that we need. I made some notes from our meeting the other day about list source too. It's just
list source. If you look on Land Academy on the next level, list source will be included in one of the levels above the silver level, which is what we all are, because there is some good stuff in there. And when we get to it, I'll explain why. But list source, by no stretch in any way, can replace RealQuest Pro.
need.
In fact, we talked about this. There is no replacement for RealQuest Pro. I asked them who their competitors are, and I asked them to name them all the way down. And they said Black Knight, which is Title Pro, and that's it. Everything else is regurgitated. Get this, Zillow and Trulia. You know what the back end of that is? RealQuest Pro. That's how deep this goes. So you have the best data at the cheapest price anywhere.
And ListSource can't do a single property search, by the way. It's only lists. These other products,
it generates like foreclosed property in a zip code.
Right. Basically, what you all have, and we're looking at doing a way to make it less confusing for you. But basically, you have the faucet. You have every possible thing, every possible parameter you could ever want. ListSource is like, oh, we're just making it pretty for these agents. They only need this, and this, and we're going to bundle it up and call it ListSource. And by the way, it's just a list. They can't tweak it. They don't have all the stuff that you have.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't mess around with that. We want the Mac Daddy.
So anyway, my point, I said, the guy said, you know, they're back into Zillow and Trulia's RealQuest. And I said, well, why can't we have the back end of that so we can create an interface that's a lot easier to use? And so we don't have to sort, you know, we can sort for the 20% and all of that. He said, well, you can. You guys qualify. Because, I mean, we're pulling down hundreds and hundreds of thousands of records a month now.
Right.
So we're going to do that. We are purchasing the data. It's not going to happen don't tailor your business model or make any decisions based on what I'm saying right now. I'm just saying that we are going to generate an interface that's way more not 1989 like it is in there right now, and then make it a lot easier to buy property.
Yeah, the gist of that meeting was it's like they don't even know what to do with all the information that they have.
Which is why we're capping the membership, by the way, because the whole world doesn't need to know about this.
Exactly. Okay, so Carrie, how do you find out beforehand? We didn't know where to find that info. You know, I don't know if I have that. If I don't have that question about, is there an HOA or a POA associated with this property?
Yeah, I do.
Please add it to that checklist. You know, in the back of the program, I have a sheet for you to print out and the questions to ask sellers. That's not on there. Add it on there because that is a good question. You always want to check that. You can also check with the county. Usually we Google the property and see if there's an HOA or a POA.
Do two things. Add two things to your acquisition checklist if you haven't done it already. Google the APN and Google the name of the subdivision, and you'll be amazed at what comes up. And don't just look at the first 3 listings on Google. You will find everything out.
That's a good one. Yeah, the easiest thing would be if in the legal description it's Manor Estates, lot number 521. You might want to check, make sure Manor Estates.
Yes, exactly.
So if you see anything that sounds like it's a subdivision and association,
Estates in Arizona,
then yes.
Try it a few different ways.
Exactly. And you can check with the county too. Regarding the property part from Claire, I was so behind on acquisitions because I've been busy selling.
Awesome.
Shucks. And it wasn't clear your RealQuest deal and new stuff like Title Pro 24/7.
Oh.
Yeah. Just want to make sure
I
was enrolled right. I'm sure you are.
You're enrolled right, Claire. I think Claire was like number 5.
Way back when. Exactly. So yeah, check. And you know what, Claire, you can always, any questions, you know what, if you send Erin an email, Claire, she'll send you, this is probably what you should do. Ask Erin to email you the updated new member guide, and then everything's in there. So you know that, because the tools that we've added, we have actually added some cool stuff, Claire, since when you came with us way back when. So in the new member guide, it'll spell it all out for you.
Hey, by the way, we have a new, much different mailing company than originally too. So if you want, everybody's welcome to use
Can they use it
LetterStream
now?
now. Yeah.
Okay, good.
All you have to do is go on Success Plant and in the search box, just type in LetterStream. And you have to be in the pro section. It's not open to the public by any stretch. If you're in the pro section, it'll give you directions and a URL and the whole thing.
And you have to get like approved, your email approved, right? Because they
No.
have it locked down.
No, it's not.
Well, it's not for the general public.
It's not.
Okay, thank you.
Just,
I was just curious.
it's nice to talk to you, Joe.
Thank you.
I'll explain it to you later.
Okay, thank you.
It's open for business.
Okay, cool. Good. Michael asked, I brought up the RealQuest question because apparently a private subscription does not charge them for property reports. However, I do not know what the price per record is. They have salespeople there. They have flat out salespeople.
Yep.
And they do have different pricing, even higher, I think, than ours.
If you want
to pay more than $275 a month and get X amount of records thrown in, you can do that. You can do the math.
And if they don't like to sell the national product, which is what we all have, they'd rather do it on a state by state basis.
Specific, exactly.
You can get, if you're just going to use one state,
Texas for $150,
then it might approach the price that you have for the whole thing, but I doubt it.
But the only thing is, Michael, I mean, you're talking about one thing. And if you want to go that route, I get it, but you won't have the Title Pro and the
We're not going to answer any more RealQuest questions today, and here's why.
Okay.
RealQuest is the best data on the planet, and getting it through us is way cheaper than any place, anywhere that you can get the data. So, I mean, you're welcome to call them and talk to other salespeople and stuff, but just it's the best.
That's right. All right. Nick said, I sent out my first mailer 2 Fridays ago. 13 responses so far.
Yeah.
A few angry and several others that want to sell at retail price.
That's okay.
I figured signed PAs come back at a slower rate than calls and emails.
Yep, that's right.
How soon are others getting back signed PAs after they are mailed? Gosh, I mean, it varies all over the board.
With LetterStream, it's all out in the mail. Everything's 2 weeks sooner with LetterStream. So how soon are they? They follow like the mail comes back like a week after the hate. Typically.
Sometimes. It all depends on the county and everything. You never know, but sit tight.
It's going to come.
It will. That's what's so funny. That's what usually happens around here. People are like, I got nothing. And the next thing you know, whoa, here it comes. And I want to make sure too, how many did you send out? I'm kind of curious, Nick. I hope it was north of 1,000. So feel free. 1261. Nice. Awesome. Okay, good. It's coming. All right.
Would you recommend removing the mineral rights verbiage on the purchase agreement? Yeah, that might cause some confusion. So yeah, I think that's okay. I would not, however, remove it on from the vesting deed when you deed the property. You want to copy that verbatim.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Here's Jerry saying too, Nick, I got one 6 months ago. They trickle in. Sometimes they do. Years later. Okay. Jean asks, in the purchase agreements you mail out, how long do you give the seller from the mailing date before the contract expires? 30 days, 90 days, 6 months?
So what I do is I look at the day that I send it all to LetterStream. And the day that I send it there, I take that out 30 days. That's going to be the middle of some month, the middle of next month, some number. And then I do the 30th of that month. So if I sent it out today, it's January 26th. I would say, now, if we're at February 26th, I'd probably shoot it 30 days after that. So March 31st-ish. So it's between 60 and 90 days. And, but I also say, well, what else is there? We can close, the faster you do it, the better, because a lot of people sent letters out, or a lot of people are receiving these letters, and we are back on our acquisition. So hurry, just do it fast. And faster, the better.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Joel even said, I did 30 days, but that doesn't stop them.
Yeah.
If they want it or need to sell.
We get calls from 2004.
Yeah.
Every week.
And they're like, oh, I'm so glad. Are you still here? Are you still interested? I don't know if the price is the same. So, yep. Jean did 30 as well. Okay, cool.
Good. I love how everyone else is answering these questions. It's like we're all working together. I like that.
Luke doesn't want any more in-person deals.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
there's the answer to that question.
There we go.
There's the answer.
Here we go. I started meeting at the local part. They ended up being the weirdest ones. Most questions. Exactly.
You know what, Claire? There's your answer.
There you go. For me, it's kind of a red flag.
I agree.
You don't trust me enough. I'm not sure. This is kind of weird. We're good.
Our silly podcast is getting real big. And then now, especially if they want to meet, we're like, no.
Mm-hmm. Albert asks, could you please tell me what you find to be the best place to advertise property for sale? Sure, there's about 10 to 20.
Yeah, so no, there's no best place.
Yeah.
You really, especially if you're new, you need to really, really be vigilant about posting the property everywhere.
Exactly.
And then you're going to find maybe certain types of property sell well on Craigslist and certain types sell well on eBay or whatever. And then you can maybe after, 10 deals? After 10 deals, you can really say, you know what? I really don't need to post this on Zillow anymore. I never got one call.
Right.
You can start narrowing it that way. We're working on a product that posts it everywhere for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just enter it once in a spreadsheet and it goes everywhere. So
you
to do away with this concept altogether, because I personally can't stand posting property. It takes a day. It takes a whole day to post one property everywhere.
I just don't want a chance missing a seller because I thought this was perfect for, eBay or this site or something. It's better just to have it in a system and do it all. So, Luke,
he's right. Luke's right.
Luke said the last buyer who came from Arizona to Southern California, to pay in person for a $1,000 property, calls about every 3 days. Same questions over and over, like he forgot my answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. In-person buyer flew from Alberta, Canada. Oh my gosh. To buy 2 properties. One like $800 and one like $2,500. He paid and disappeared. Then he had some problems recording them, even though I offered you the recording. He had me walk it through him for 2 different counties. See, this is like you're opening up so much potential for
a red flag.
Exactly.
Especially with Luke's, like how many properties he has.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to see if it's a scam, I can halfway understand that. But any other reason than that, I just don't.
Exactly.
I want to put a face with the deed. I don't think so.
Right. Tom Dieter. Thank you, Tom. He said, I did fine on my first mailer using the simple approach. That's Team Jill. On pricing, we're calling Jill the simple approach.
You should bring that back. Can we have colors and stuff like red and blue?
That would be fun. Well, maybe a shirt, Team Jill, Team Jack. On pricing, but I'm curious to know if either of you or any of my fellow LA members have ever experimented with adjusting offer price based on designated land use, i.e. farm, timber, residential. Yep, especially for the larger acre offers, over 10 acres.
Well, that's well beyond the scope of the call, Tom, but that is a personal, yes, we've gotten a lot of people have said, does this work with farmland? And it does. So we're kicking the idea around of doing an actual, like a cash flow from land program, but for farmland. So it's very, very different. Farmland, by the way, and I'll leave it at this because we'll run out of time. It's really easy to price, and you can really find there are people, farmland gets passed down from generation to generation, and it's really easy if you catch them at the right time when somebody passes away and the kids got it and they just want to be done with it. They'll sell it for a couple $1,000s less than if you talk to anybody from Iowa or anybody anywhere in the center of the country on agricultural land, and you ask them this question, hey, what's an acre going for right now? They'll say, oh, it's $8,200. We talk about it every morning. And so there's a real specific number. So you got to find out what that number is and go in. I try to go in $2,000 less an acre because you can sell it for $1,000 less than that number. Really, it's a commodity, so it can change. You got to do the deal fast, but it works.
How much time?
I love farmland.
How much time do you want for your thing?
I need like 3 minutes.
Okay, good. All right, we'll keep it for the last. That's okay. I'll get to these questions. Jim Wolmer asks, on the quick claim deed question, can I resell as a special warranty deed? Yep, that's exactly correct. And the same thing holds true if you ever bought property from a treasurer. You go from a treasurer's deed, to you. Now you turn around and do it the normal way. You're just like, okay, now we're back on using special warranty deeds or grant deed, if that's whatever the state is.
When we say copy the vesting deed verbatim, we mean the legal description and the grantor and grantee. Not the deed type. You can change a deed type there are certain state exceptions, Nevada's one, that you have to use the same type of deed, but you can change the deed type in general, and we do just about every deal.
Yeah. Thank you, Jerry, too. I thank you for answering these questions too. And Jerry was just typing into that list sources for free foreclosure sort. So people, that's exactly
right. It's a house foreclosure tool.
Exactly.
And maybe one of the best ones, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Michael. He created a quick video on letter stream for folks. Thank you.
Good.
Awesome.
Is it on? I hope it's on. That's great. That's awesome, man. Thank you.
Yes, that is really good. Okay, one of our team should use that. Oh, Michael likes to do videos. That's what I got out of that. Thank you. Just watch your video for a half hour ago. Nice. Oh, good. Okay.
Cool. Claire did.
All right. So cool. Thank you for doing that, Michael. See?
You know what you should do is do one that's all wrong though. Do 2 videos side by side.
No, and have like Sesame Street cut in.
Yeah.
No. You know what? I was just telling this to someone the other day about our group, and this is another reason I want to limit this group.
Yeah.
Is because we are all helping each other, and we're all getting better and doing better deals and faster and everything, helping each other. This is by design exactly how this should be going. Thank you. Jerry said, for what it's worth, I've been in the biz a while, coming from house business, and there's no cheaper way than here.
Thank you, Jerry.
For RealQuest. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that.
You know what? That's why we got the Black Knight product, Title Pro, because some of the stuff, like the report, you get a number of free reports with that, don't you? You get like 10 free reports a month, and then they start charging you? Or we do?
We pay for those.
Oh, we pay for them?
Yeah.
Well, all right. So
no, there aren't any free, but we threw in a few when we did Title Pro to say everybody gets X amount a month.
For reports and maps and stuff, is generally cheaper than RealQuest.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Use both. That's why we have both products.
Good point. You're right. Because you know what? That's a good thing. So Nick, we out of the gate when we did Title Pro, we decided we're going to pay for 5 of these and 10 of those or something for people every month to get for free on Title Pro, just to kind of help people out. So make sure you use up the free ones. Yeah. Every month. So, and it's in the new member guide. I know you'll find it there, and you can get a revised one from Aaron. Thank you. Oh, good. I'm going to try to whip through these questions because it's going to give you just 5 minutes to do your cool presentation. Letter stream. Okay, looks like they got that. Letter stream is great.
Thank you, Ben.
Also love the window envelopes. Awesome. Feedback takes forever to post them. Yes, it does. But at least once you do one, you have a template. Chuck says, in the Land Academy videos, Jack says there will be a special video or program to discuss optioning. I'm interested in doing options. I think we covered that in the program.
I really do too.
Because
or if we didn't, it's on
in Success Plan Pro, we talk about it a lot.
There's a video somewhere.
Yeah.
If not, somebody email me and I'll.
Yeah, we can look into that. So we can cover.
It's going to be a short video.
This is true.
Actually, Jill's the option expert. Maybe she'll do it.
Yeah. Reach out to me, Chuck.
Team Jill.
All right. Albert says, I'm looking at purchasing 20 acres with water rights.
Yeah.
Seller has the paperwork for water rights. My question is this. Does having water rights increase value in selling? Heck yeah.
My gosh, yes.
Definitely. So aren't they? They're probably pricing it that way for you.
I would argue, depending on where the property is, and please don't tell us, that they're like in Arizona, they're way more valuable than mineral rights all day long.
Yeah, like Colorado and stuff too.
That's great.
It's a big deal.
You know what? That's a big deal. If you can focus on that area and see if some of the other properties have them too, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. This is so cool, Claire. Her grandfather was a farm appraiser in Iowa. That would have been so interesting. He died in the 80s, but it'd be so cool if I could ask him questions now. That would be awesome. These are like $1.50 in Title Pro, and it's like $8 on CoreLogic. CoreLogic covers more, but try Title Pro first. Thank you. Yeah, and there's at least a few, 5 or 10 free that we do with the documents.
Deeds, though. That's good. $1.50. Let me tell you something. I'm going to sound like your father. $1.50 to go into it somewhere and get a deed to see if the properties that you're purchasing, there's guys on the deed, is unbelievable. It used to be. Now I'm going to sound like your father. That we would have to send a check in, and we have to send it in the mail, and then wait for the thing to come back. They would take 2 or 3 days to process it. Well, they had to wait for our check to clear. This is not that long ago,
It's true.
actually.
It's very true.
And then mail it back. So the whole thing would take a week, and then it's, time kills deals. The seller's not interested. So $1.50 to get a deed. Oh, then they charge you like, $1 for a copy and stuff,
Oh
a
yeah, that's true.
photocopy.
That's right. And you got to wait. The other thing too, I was going to say is what I do. I don't. Every time someone calls me back, I do not go pull the vesting deed or pay for anything. But what I do is I I jump into Title Pro. I put in the search.
Yeah.
I put in the APN,
On the phone.
the council while they're on the phone, APN county, state APN state county. Anyway, it pops right up, and I'm looking at the map of it, and I'm hovering over it, and I'm reading on the bottom. It shows me, like for my properties, Pilot Equity. It'll say Pilot Equity LLC, and then and I know, or John Smith or whoever it is, and I can see it right there without downloading or paying for anything right away if I'm talking to the right person. So then I'm going to negotiate and talk. Well, not negotiate. I'm going to. Yeah, that was a oops. Then I'm going to follow up with,
Makes you sound smart.
that we have more, make sure we're really going to do a deal here. And if it's going down that path, like it's really sounding like I'm now going to really buy the property, I have a few more things I need to check, then I'm going to go do it. So a large percentage of the time, I don't need the report. So don't spend the money if you don't need to. And that's cool. All right, we have a couple questions. I just want to do these last two real quick, and then we'll do your thing.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. So Michael asks, what red flags are we specifically looking for in Title Pro requests when doing due diligence? Can I answer this?
Yeah,
okay.
Please.
Really making sure you're going to go back and just make sure that it was properly conveyed exactly with the right names. Bob Smith sold to Mike Warner. Okay, Mike Warner sold to, Susie, whatever. And you're just really kind of looking through that and making sure in the time that they held the property doesn't really make a difference. But my favorite ones are when I pull it up and I can see this guy's owned it for 30 years, and then I really don't even go back much further than that, but
Did you go back 30 years?
You can see on the deed. I've had these deeds that you can see that they were old typewriters. They're still old recorded from way back then. It was printed on an old typewriter, like a punt and peck, put, and there was probably carbon copies under it.
I only ever, if it's $4,000 or more, I just had a call. The person with the call that I had the call with is not on this call. It doesn't matter, but he called around and found a title person. He found a title agent, no name, like Jack's Title Company, and he negotiated a rate of $400 a deal because he's sick of doing exactly what we're talking about now. And so now instead of $800 or $900, this one person, and he's the owner who's actually acting as a title agent, does every single transaction for him everywhere in the state. So he's stopped doing this all the time. And so now his deal closing, he shoves him to this guy. And this guy couldn't be, he's elated. He's hiring another guy to help and another person. And it's just so everybody in this business has one or two things they like and one or two things they don't like, and this paperwork deed stuff. It's not too hard if you start calling around if you want to avoid it. You need to know how to do it. You need to learn how to drive a stick, but that doesn't mean you have to have a stick shift the rest of your life.
Yeah, and the smaller transactions, you don't have to get too, I don't know. That's what I do. I check and make sure that's the only thing that'll be a red flag for me is if I see like, well, it looks like we're missing a deed here. Now I have a problem.
Yeah. The big one for me is just to check the vesting deed. If the person you're speaking with on the phone is the signer for the vesting deed, the chances of that deal getting done have now increased tenfold. If they say, yeah, but I got this thing, and this thing, and this guy last week told me that, then just click.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Jerry had 2 comments. He's got one with an active well, and he's had some of the deed wasn't in their database. So that's not that often.
Yeah, that isn't that.
That's really interesting. All right, Jack's going to share
I'm going to
some
screen share.
really cool thing here.
Bear with me for a second here. All right.
Okay.
This is a deal we're doing right now. And I want everyone to get in the habit, and I wish I would have put it in the program, of calling planning and zoning if they're doing a deal that's over 40 acres, or let's just say 20 to 40 or even larger. The one that we're doing is 160 acres. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background here. We all should theoretically know, except unless you're brand new, how range township works. The whole country is set up on Range Township. There's 36 sections in a Range Township. Each section is 640 acres. And this is what a legal would look like. We're going to use this example. It's in Arizona Township 39 North, Range 1 East. It's just an example. And if we multiply each of those square miles, 640 acres by 36, that's how many acres you get. And a really long time ago, somebody assigned it an assessor parcel number. That's step one. In the real world, you can look at it like this. See, these are all these yellow, these orange, big orange squares are these, this whole square.
It's a section.
So it's a Range Township. Then when you get down further, the little purple ones are, 1, 2, 3, 4. They contain 36. This is, if you get down it, it's the section number 1 right here as an example. So there's section 1. So that now is 640 acres. And then from there, people over the years, for whatever reason, cut this stuff up. In farming, it's usually they want to give 40 acres to the brother-in-law or whatever. So this is 640 acres, the one big number 1. A quarter of that, you divide by 4, is 160 acres. This is the deal that we're doing. We have a 160 acre property. I called planning and zoning and I said, hey, what's it going to take for me to cut up these 40s, this thing into 4, rewrite the descriptions, which Luke was alluding to earlier. And, and he said, the guy said, oh, this happens all the time. No problem. Send in a $20 fee, go to the website, fill this PDF out and send it in with the $20 fee. And he'd be real helpful on us here because we're not a big county. If you could create the APNs that you want. So I fell out of my chair. And here's why this is so valuable. We're paying 16 grand for this 160 acre property. And we were going to sell it for 24 cash and make 8 grand, 50% return on investment. Not bad for the whole 2 weeks it took to do the whole thing. I probably, with my staff, probably have 2 hours of my life into this whole deal. Well, because I asked that question and I was told by planning and zoning, and here's what the deal looks like now. We're going to split the 160 acres 4 times into 4 40-acre properties. Reassign the APNs. Usually it's A, B, C, and D. The old APNs here, we're just going to cut it up into same APN, just an A, B, C, and a D on it. Now we can sell them for about $12,000 each instead of a total of 24. Now, my return on investment for the same transaction and doing, I don't know, an hour of work more, maybe not. I'm getting a return on investment at 200% and making $32,000 on the deal instead of $32,000 net. That's what I actually put in the bank at the end of the whole thing instead of 8 on the same deal. Now, here's the whole key. Once you find a place like this that really makes it this easy, now how much money the next mailer that I send out in this county will look very different. We can pay now a lot more for real estate in this county than the people are used to selling it for. So it changes everything. You can really, really make a fortune. And what happens if you do 10 deals like this? All right. Or let's say just 12, 1 a month. That's how much money you net. That's what your bank account looks like 12 months later in just 1 county. There's a lot you have to please check on this stuff before you do the acquisition, because there's way more counties will say, we don't do that. We stopped doing this in 1974, but you got to ask. And once you find a place, milk the heck out of it.
Awesome.
Jill's back. Jill.
No, it's all good.
Only had time to do one hand of nails.
I did not. You're so silly. That was fantastic. Thank you very much, Jack. I hope everyone got a lot out of that. Do you have anything you want to say in closing?
No. Oh, the call's done.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Any last questions in here?
I think we did great. So look at us. We're like, how efficient are we?
It feels weird to stop on
I
time.
know this is so good, but we need to. Everybody, has jobs and things. I know people are running around and they're like, I'm sure they're hiding behind the water cooler. So you're going to answer one last one from
Yeah, I
Kathleen?
mean,
Okay.
Gene's asking how to get a copy of the spreadsheet. I'm going to ask
Oh,
Aaron
okay.
to associate it in Zoom, and I'm not even sure if this is possible. Associate it in Zoom. Otherwise, if you go to Success Plan, where we posted the actual video, I'm going to ask her to put the spreadsheet, attach it somehow, possibly in WordPress as a blog, video blog.
Perfect. Okay.
It's
We'll
all of
get
that.
that.
Maybe that's not possible, and if that none of that happens, then you'll know why, because it's not possible. But Zoom's pretty good, so we'll see.
Best. Thank you very much. Let's see if we can attach all of that. So exactly. And then Kathleen had one little last question. We'll answer that. Interested in working in some states that require an attorney to close real estate? Maybe New York, New Jersey area. I don't know. I'd like to find an attorney in which to develop a discounted deal on. These will be higher priced parcels, so it may not be huge. Any suggestions on how to present it to attorneys?
Yes.
When I cold call them?
I would not call them. I would call the county, and now I would actually specifically call the recorder, because they deal with this all the time. And if the county's large in any way or urban in any way, they'll have a list on the internet. But ask the recorder that question. I need a good attorney who's got a good turnaround, who's just a good person.
Yeah.
And they will actually they'll say, well, look, we can't give you one name, but I'm going to give you three names, and I'd like the third one the best, but I'm not supposed to say that.
Right.
And they will really save you a ton of work and time.
Awesome.
I was just told by the Land Academy staff that we can't attach that in Zoom like we could in WebEx, but we'll find a way.
We can do it, then we'll do it in Success Plan.
Yeah, we'll put it in Success Plan. That's perfect.
Exactly. Well, thank you, everyone. Hope you have a great end of the week and a great weekend.
Yeah.
And glad you're here. Our call is getting so big and so cool. This is so much fun. So, okay.
Thanks very much. We will see you next week. Same time.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.